Okay, so welcome to this tutorial. So in the last video, we look at how we are going to make the method to talk to our database, and after that, we will look at how we get the user information and more. But I want to make some changes to the password mismatch function that we put in the previous video. So in this, what I'm going to do is I'll cross-check something under the error statement and check if the error is rather I will use the error package, and there is a comparing operator over there which is this, and I will compare the error to bcrypt, a certain error in bcrypt, and with that what I need to do, I will just return this one, I'll return false and nil for the error. So that is going to be false and nil for the error. Okay. So this is not actually an error. It means that a backward is the one that do not match. But we need to give you that information rather than showing that there is an error or something bad happening in the code or something. So I'll save this, and after saving, then I'll go back to the API and this folder. And what I will do is we will come here, and after reading the data, I'll make some validation check, and this validation is going to be, I'll use the validator package and now use the new method that we created on the validator. So when you come to the validator, so this is like an instance of the new validation error. So what am I going to do? I'll cross check about something. So what we want is that we want to have this validation to check about something, and we want okay, so we will use the line and check for the input dot first name, and if the length is greater than 2 characters, so that is what we want. So greater than 2 characters, then we are good to go. So what I will do is the key over here will be first underscore name, and if there is any error, what we will write is we will just say password, not password, first name must be more than 2 characters like this, and so I'll copy this about a couple of times and just change some things in it. So I'll copy, paste it again, paste this again, and paste this also again. So over here, that is going to be the last name, and here you'll be having last underscore name, and here we'll be having last name, target, and this one will be password, and you want the password to be greater than or equal to 3 characters, and also we want it to be less than or equal to 72 characters, because that is what bcrypt accepts. So over here is going to be password, and here too is going to be password. password. So I will change here to password, and the first name of God will be changed to password, and here to change to password. So password might be more than 5 characters. That is it, or big or more. I'll just make it up. I'll just make it to be 5 characters here, and should be less than 72 characters. That's it. And now the last one is the email. And we will come and write a regular expression for the email. But for now, let's take it as the email most of the time. It is not going to be less than 10 characters. That's it. And therefore, you get the email might be more than 10 characters like this. So after this, we use the validator. So we will check if not, and we use the instance to check for the valid. So if it is valid, if it is not, then we will use fmt, and we will use the fmt to print something, and I think that is going to be fprint. Oh nope, let me make it there. I would rather use this one, that is the API dot, and I will use the right JSON so that we will be able to write JSON. We're going to have this, and now the next one is the status. So we're going to be http dot status. I think status, status and log unaccepted. Let me just use status and start request, and now the data is an interface. So for an interface, I can just what I would rather do is error, or okay, moving dot error like this, then dot error just like that, and what I will do is here the header will be nil over there, and I'm going to return from it so that the code will not continue again over there. And let me copy the if statement and bring it here so that when they encounter an error, then the validation is not going to check from there. So what else are we going to do after the validation? Then if everything passes, we're going to proceed to the session, and now we are going to insert it in our database for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this error to check, and now I will use the things we have already set an error variable for. So I will use the app dot, and you access the API dot, and you access the model, and now the model we will just use it, and now we accept a user data. So how are we going to get this user data? We are going to get it. I'll make an instance of the user data, and now this is going to be equal to, I'll use this as data dot, let me use the data dot, yeah, let me check if, so I'll go here and now I'll import the data. Right. So when we check here, the package in data, so I'll import the data over here and use this data to access the user model. And now the first name of it is going to be the input dot first name. So last name also is going to be input dot last name. The password, we won't set the password now, or we will set the email. So the email is going to be input dot email like this. And now what we are going to do is we will use the user over here, and before we do that, we will bring an error, and now we will use this user information to set the password. So we'll check for the password and use the set method on the password, and we'll pass in the password that we have. So that is going to be input dot password like this. And I think it returns an error, but I need to have this open like this. So I'll check if there is any error. If there is any error, we are going to just show it. If the error is not equal to nil, let me copy something from here. Let me copy something. We will write a custom error message, so don't worry. And after that, we will return from there so that it won't continue to register because the password couldn't get. So if we set the password like this, now we're going to hash it and set the hash. So we don't need to set the password hash again. So what we are going to do is to just pass the user over here, and we will cross check if there is any error. If the error is not equal to nil, then it means that our information is being sent to the database. So what we are going to do right now is we are going to have this I'll rather copy this again and now show the error again over there. And if so and it is possible, then we are going to input the user to show it to the user again from here. So now let's cross check what is the error. Okay, I think there is no error. So let me open this, and now let me run the code. So I'll just go run. So go run. I'll run the code while we wait for Insomnia to finish loading or building. Go into compile or compile everything or being able to connect to our database. Let's allow the firewall stuff. And now okay. So I think we are already having a body. So what I'm going to do is to just end the request. And we are having a server encounter an error. The server encountered an error. Let's see. Let's go to the code and see what is happening. Okay, intact near the go. Let me check. So we have an SQL intact and this is where our SQL statement is. So let's check. Intact into O. So this the user. Sorry, we needed to do this. We forgot. So let me exit. Okay, and now rerun the app. Oh, we forgot the table. Never encountered an error again. Let me cross check. And now value in column ID for relation user. Valid not now complete. Are we carried as primary key or okay, let me go to this one. Okay, let me log in. Let's see what is going on in our this is not our code, but it's like think on how we constructed the database. I'll go here and I'll go to the database, go in the chat. Let's go to the public and go to the table. So the user table. Let me see. Let me see the property. Let me get what I okay, user now. So I come here, go okay. So let's on you have to uncheck this one and now we can give it from here. So you can auto generate stuff over there. Oh, I think it couldn't give. Let me cross check again. Why? Okay, so let's go there. Now what I did was I dropped the table and recreated the table again. So I used this query to recreate the table. So going to be you are going to have the same thing that we did, but I just wrote it. So you can pause the video and write it as it is over here. We'll be good to go. So go back to let me go back here and now run the app again. Let me run the app again and see how it goes. Okay, so let's check. And now I'll go and invoke it. And we are having it again. Ah, you get that nothing. Password. Okay. I forgot that when you look at the query, I make the negative changes that a password has. And I forgot to make those changes in the code. So we have it to be password has by this one. So as all of you can now get it, I'll rerun the code. Okay, and allow this. And now come back to the code. So this is exactly some of the things that you may be going, maybe getting into when you are building stuff. A little stuff you get to forget. So thank God that well, if not that, say maybe if you're a professional developer or anything, you can think about it. you will be surely be encountering problems. All what you need to be patient and read the error messaging for that you get to know what to do next. And now you can check can this one and we are getting the that with the date and everything like that. But the password we didn't bring it because we don't want to show the password. And we are having the ID. So probably being saved in our database. So we go to our database, and when we go to the guide and we go to view data and query all the rows, probably we'll be having that data over there. Okay, go. It is showing our data, our first name, our email, our password, our timestamp that we get to be now, and now we have the clue, and you can see the password is being hashed. The original one that we type is not there, but the hash of it that in the power will be correct. So this is how we can go by it. And if we try to send another one again, we are going to get an error. And when we look at the code, what we get is a duplicate key value that is the user email key. So it's unique, but we are sending the same thing. That is why we got that error. If you go ahead and change it to be like test1@gmail.com, send it, probably we are going to have it to be done. Or if not that, there was an error, but rather do progress to prevent the duplication of the email. For that, thank you for watching and subscribe and meet in the next video. Bye bye.